definite only upon interaction or measurement, a process often referred to as the collapse of the wave function. While these are not identical concepts, one being a philosophical conclusion about the ultimate nature of all phenomena, the other a feature of a physical theory describing the behavior of matter and energy at fundamental scales, both serve to undermine the classical, common-sense idea of objects possessing well-defined, independent properties regardless of context or observation. The emptiness of inherent properties in Buddhist thought resonates with the indeterminacy of properties in quantum mechanics before they are actualized by measurement. B. Rethinking causality beyond linear progression. The traditional, linear model of causality, where a distinct cause precedes and produces a distinct effect in a unidirectional flow, is challenged by both Buddhist philosophical analyses and certain quantum phenomena. Buddhist thought, particularly in Mahayana schools, offers radical reinterpretations. Nichiren Buddhism's principle of ingaguji, simultaneity of cause and effect, posits that cause and effect can be co-present within a single moment of life, with practice cause and realization effect being mutually immanent. The Madhyamika school, through Nagarjuna's dialectic, deconstructs the very notion of separate causes and effects, arguing for their mutual dependency and ultimate non-duality based on the emptiness of inherent existence. If there are no independently existing things, then a separate cause cannot act upon a separate effect. They co-define each other within an indivisible process. Quantum physics also presents scenarios where classical causality is strained or appears to break down. Quantum singularities, especially the initial Big Bang singularity, force a re-evaluation of causality at the very origin of time and space. If time begins at the singularity, the notion of a temporally prior cause becomes meaningless, opening the door to considerations of simultaneous or even transcendent forms of causation. Quantum entanglement exhibits instantaneous correlations between distant particles that defy explanation by classical causal mechanisms propagating through space and limited by the speed of light. While not enabling faster-than-light communication of information, these causal correlations suggest a level of interconnectedness where influences are not bound by classical spatio-temporal constraints. Both systems, therefore, push beyond simplistic, unidirectional models of a causing being. Buddhist philosophy achieves this through a deep analysis of interdependence and the emptiness of phenomena, while quantum physics arrives at this juncture by encountering physical phenomena and theoretical limits where classical causal models prove inadequate. The distinctions, however, remain important. Buddhist concepts of causality are often intrinsically linked to soteriological goals, such as understanding karma for liberation and realizing Buddhahood. Quantum considerations of causality, conversely, are tied to the mathematical structure of physical theories, the interpretation of experimental observations, and the quest for a consistent description of physical interactions. The Buddhist deconstruction of independently existing things, via sunyata and prajna samutpada is, in fact, what allows for, and indeed necessitates, a non-dual or simultaneous view of cause and effect. If cause and effect were conceived as truly separate, independently existing entities, their non-duality or simultaneity would be logically incomprehensible. Nagarjuna's core argument is that because phenomena are empty of self-existence, svabhava, and are dependently arisen, the conventional distinction between a cause and its effect as separate, discrete entities ultimately collapses. They are mutually dependent and co-define each other within an inseparable continuum. Thus, sunyata can be understood as the ontological ground that makes a non-dual conception of causality not only possible but also necessary for a deeper understanding of reality. If causality is not strictly linear or locally confined, as these diverse perspectives suggest, it could imply that influences within any system, be it physical, biological, or even social, might be far more holistic, systemic, and instantaneously reverberating than conventionally understood. This opens up avenues for re-examining complex systems, consciousness, and societal dynamics, although such extensions must be approached with considerable caution and methodological rigor to avoid unwarranted leaps of inference. C. The nature of reality, emptiness, illusion, and quantum indeterminacy. Both Buddhist philosophy and quantum physics challenge a naive realist view of the world, the idea that reality exists, out there, with fixed, definite properties, independent of the observer or the process of observation. Buddhist thought, through concepts like sunyata and maya often translated as illusion, suggests that conventional reality, as we perceive and experience it, is not ultimately real in the way it appears. It lacks inherent substance, svabhava, and is understood as a product of dependent origination and conceptual construction, prapanka, the mental proliferation that carves up and reifies an otherwise seamless experiential field. Nagarjuna, for instance, described origination, existence, and destruction, the very processes of phenomenal reality, as being like Maya, dreams, or a fairy castle, not to deny their conventional appearance but to highlight their lack of ultimate, independent solidity. Quantum physics, in a different vein, departs significantly from the classical notion of an objective reality composed of entities with predefined properties. Phenomena such as superposition, where particles can exist in multiple states simultaneously until a measurement is made, and the observer effect, where the act of measurement inevitably influences the outcome and the state of the observed system, suggest that reality at the quantum level is fundamentally indeterminate and contextual. The properties of a quantum system are often probabilistic and become actualized, or definite only upon interaction with a measuring apparatus or the wider environment. The parallels here lie in the shared challenge to a simplistic, fixed view of reality. Buddhist philosophy emphasizes the crucial role of mind and consciousness in constructing our experience of the world. The categories and concepts we employ actively shape what we perceive as real. Quantum physics, from an empirical and mathematical